All right, good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to say hello to everybody, but I want to start off by letting y'all know I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with the whole situation, with other situations, and with the way that people are responding to situations. I'm frustrated with conversations that I've heard, and I'm so frustrated. But I'm gonna do my very best to not raise my voice today. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to not raise my voice. I just want to say what I want to say, and that be that. But before we get to any of that, because we gonna get to it, I have to say hi to the people. You say hi to me, I say hi to you. It's the way we do the show. Even when I'm frustrated, when things are going on, the show goes on the way that we do it. And I think this is an important part of the show. So I say hi to you, you say hi to me, and it keeps that bond in my heart anyway. Actually, my heart is over here. I don't know why I did it here. So let's get started. Robert Willis, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Robert's first, by the way. Sierra Brooks in the house. Sierra, she says first, but she's really second. She's first on Facebook, so that means something. Tanika, good afternoon. She's representing beautiful Orlando, Florida, even though she said she was going to stop saying that because she know that's bullying. But good afternoon, Tanika. Good afternoon. Anthony Prosser, good afternoon, Anthony. Good afternoon. Appreciate you checking us out. Sierra says she's representing Boston, by the way. And DeAndre Crosby rounding out the top 5. Good afternoon, DeAndre. Appreciate you checking in. Appreciate the support. Let's see. Vincent Jones representing Blue Ash. Good afternoon, Vincent. Good afternoon. Lorenzo Clark, good afternoon. He's representing Home Depot. I was in Home Depot earlier today. I heard a call. I just laid on the floor in the fetal position, sucking my thumb, crying. We're going to get to all of that. We're going to get to all of that. Lonzo Clark, good afternoon. Did I already say Anthony? Yeah, Anthony in the house. He's representing, he didn't say. Tria, representing Avondale. Good afternoon. I don't know why I got so excited when I saw Tria's name. Tria's normally late. She's normally late, but since I'm really late, then she could be early on in the hellos. And of course, she comes in classy as always. Good afternoon, Tria. I appreciate you. Crystal Hoskins in the house. Checking in she's representing a dentist office. I need to go to the dentist. I need to make me an appointment. Thank you, Crystal. Even though Mrs. Livingston had like a dental appointment today too, but she didn't make one for me. What the hell? You gonna make sure your teeth cool, but you ain't gonna worry about my teeth? Told her that's messed up. But, it is what it is. Good afternoon, Crystal. Scott Bain representing West Walnut Hills. Good afternoon. Carolyn Smith in the house. Good afternoon, Carolyn. I appreciate you. Lewis C.K. Johnson in the house. Good afternoon, Lewis. Good afternoon. Let's see. Yo Underwood representing Bonita's Basement today. Dina Johnston in the house representing Walnut Hills. Good afternoon, Dina. Good afternoon, Dina. T. Mikey G representing North Avondale. Good afternoon, T. Mikey G. We got Ronald Dixon in the house. What up, Ronald Dixon? Good afternoon. Sierra says, go to the dentist, brush, floss, and water pick at least twice per day. I don't do all of that twice per day. I brush probably 4 times a day. I floss constantly, but I don't water pick twice a day. I typically just water pick at night, like before I go to bed. Get all the little particles out that I missed flossing all day. But I keep, matter of fact, speaking of it, I keep some floss in my pocket because I floss all day. All day. So, yeah, I keep that. But I don't water pick twice a day. Let's see. Anthony, say, come on, E. You know old folk money. Okay. Cleopatra Jones in the house. Good afternoon, Cleopatra Jones. I appreciate you. Got Fame. Fame representing the good people from Gross Beezy. All right. Fame, you said something today on Wyatt's show, and I was like, oh, I got to address that because it was out of order, but I don't remember what it was. So I probably won't address it. But it was so out of order. I just remember it being out of order. And I was working. I was working. You know, we touching up all the set pieces before we ship them out. And so, you know, I was, patching some stuff and sanding and painting and all of that stuff today. So I couldn't write it down. But you said something. I agree with a lot of what you said, but at the end, I believe it was, you said something that was out of order. And I thought, I need to address that. But I don't remember what it was. So I guess you get a pass, man. You got that one over on me. Fame. Daryl Carpenter, representing Forest Park, currently Lab C. All right. We rooting for you to get up to Lab A if Lab A is more prestigious and pays more money. If not, we're rooting for you to get to Lab Z. Whichever lab is the most prestigious and or pays the most money. I'm personally rooting for you to be there. All right. Good afternoon, Daryl. Lamont Jones says, Grande, powerful, royal people. He's representing Westwood. And again, you know, I have to stop and take time to read each word. Otherwise, I'm going to literally say the word purple. Diane Huddleston Angel, representing Coleraine Township. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. Valisa Lovett, representing Blue Ash. Good afternoon to you as well. Thank you for checking out the show. Hold on, is that it? Pat Rogers. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You had to show us. Because they won't believe. Yeah, they wouldn't. And when she said it, I just thought about it. Like, I know I got floss in my pocket because I keep floss in my pocket. And so, yeah, I had to show them. Otherwise, people would be like, you don't floss. You don't floss. And then I'll be like, I do floss. And, you know, be a whole ordeal. Fame says he floss all day, too. Plus, it feel good to floss. Fame, talk about who gonna check me. All right. Walter Bradley, say straight out of Jacksonville, Florida. Right, Jacksonville in the house. Good afternoon. Kim Moore Eberhardt, representing Bond Hill. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Bond Hill in the house. Dominique Finley, one of the killer bees in here. Good afternoon, Dominique. Good afternoon. Appreciate y'all. Steban Speed, representing Westwood. Good afternoon, Steban Speed. All the labs pay the same. I'm just working in Lab C today. Oh, okay. Okay. Jacqueline Carter, representing Evanston. Good afternoon. Latanya Chichester. She says hello to everyone. Jacqueline, Latanya. Good afternoon. James Benta says, I'm in the house. All right. James, you still, where? Where you representing, man? Where? Janice Robertson, my favorite in case you didn't know. She says, good afternoon, everyone. And she yelled everyone. Good afternoon, Janice. Andrea Bustle, she's representing I'm going to say downtown. You're not on a downturn, Andrea. You may be downtown. You're on an upswing. Whatever is going on right now is the beginning of things getting better. Like, even if you think it can't get no better, man, what are you talking about? This is just the beginning. You on the upswing. Things are about to get better. Okay, Daryl. Well, I hope that you get another promotion and make more money. I just want to see you successful, brother. That's it. I just want to see you successful. More successful. Like you already successful. I want to see you more successful. That's right. See here. Gotta let them know I've lost. Ken, representing Virginia, but he's from Cincinnati. Good afternoon, Ken. Karen Di Williams, good afternoon. Good to see you. Representing Westwood. Good afternoon. I think that Brenda Early, representing Fairfield. Good afternoon. Latanya says you got it right. Every once in a while, I nail it. Mary Birch Lavender. She says, howdy, my peeps. She's straight out of White Oak. I don't know why the lyrics popped up in my head. They didn't when the brother said straight out of, I forget what he said. The lyrics to the song didn't pop up in my head, but when I saw Mary, I was about to say crazy mother name, but it wouldn't have been appropriate. Ibadata Yah. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking out the show. Regina Denson Griffin out there in Madisonville. Good afternoon. James says he's representing Vancouver, Washington. All right. Good afternoon. Fame, yes, it was definitely something about, the black community and what's going on with the family that's going through a lot of tragedy right now. It was definitely something about that, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Brenda Burt, she says, hello, room. And I think that symbol is supposed to be a heart. So she loves you guys. Okay. Andrea says driving. All right. Terry Anderson representing downtown. Good afternoon. I try, Mary. I try. Pat Rogers says, did you Ohioans vote? Oh, I forgot to vote. I've been so busy, working. And then y'all know I rushed straight here. So I got to get out of here in time to vote. So don't be trying to hold me today. Veronica Burdine, or Burdine, not sure which, representing College Hill. She said a blessed day to all. All right. Myosha Thomas. Wait a minute. Ain't you supposed to change your name? You've been married, 10 years now, and you still rocking Thomas? That man deserves you to wear his name around. You need to change that. Put that man's name on it. But good afternoon. And you don't need no wine. Alcoholism is not a good thing. Let me see. I think I got everybody. Scroll. Dwayne Larkin. Dwayne, thank you. Everything seems to have worked out. I appreciate you. More than you know. Thank you. And good afternoon. Al Johnson representing Middletown. Good afternoon. Let me see. Janice says, I voted. They ain't got my sticker. Hell with that sticker. But I do plan on voting. That man's name is on something else. Oh. Got his name tattooed on what? A cheek? Something like that. All right. Hey. It is what it is. Congratulations. A classy one. Says white people making excuses for degeneracy. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. Oh, where do we start? I guess we start with, let's start with the thing that I think I'm the most frustrated with. For those of you who don't live in Cincinnati or who haven't been paying attention to Cincinnati news, a young man was shot um, by law enforcement, and we can maybe get into that a little bit. Um, of course, the police say, you know, he pointed a weapon at them. They were justified in shooting. Of course, they're going to say that. No ifs, ands, or buts. Allegedly, his father, well, I don't know, how much do I say allegedly about? The story is that his father ran over a deputy sheriff. And the police and the prosecutor say that it was intentional, and he's charged with aggravated murder, I do believe. And thus, a lot of people are talking about the case. So the one young man lost his life. His dad, I wouldn't say he lost his life, but of course it'll never be the same. And the family is just, I'm certain, devastated. So that's the story. Pat says the story made national news. Well, but people still may not have paid attention to it. A lot of stories make national news that if I don't live in that city, I just glance at it, I'm like, oh, and then I move on. And if a larger conversation comes up about it, then I need someone to refresh my memory or let me know, oh, yeah, I did hear about that story. So that's why I kind of tell the story. And so all of that stuff happened. People are talking about it. And I think the thing that I'm hearing that's frustrating me the most are the people who, by my way of thinking, want to prove that they good ends. I don't necessarily want to say the word. They want to prove that they're good ends. And, you know, oh, I can't believe the black community is saying that it's okay for this and that and da. And that is the most frustrating thing to me. First, okay, you're a good end. Master loves you. And go get a cookie. All right? My feeling is, and I put this on my Facebook page, it doesn't make you special to go against, you know, to attempt to paint the entire black community in a negative light and kind of point to yourself as the shining example of what an end should be. Let me be, because y'all, I know a lot of people don't feel this stuff. A lot of people don't feel this stuff the way I feel it, and they don't think about it the way that I think about it, right? But why? Why do you even need to? Let's say that there are a good number of people who say, I understand why he did that. Or let's even go further. Let's say that there's a number of people who say he was justified in doing what he did, right? How is that the black community? Again, for some of y'all, I'm splitting hairs, but not for me, because you guys are painting the entire community as one thing. And like I said, trying to set yourself apart. Oh, those bad black people are saying this, but I'm a good black person, so I'm saying this. Look, just say what you say. I don't think that man is justified in doing what he did. And let that be that. Say, I think that man is justified in doing what he did, and let that be that. Why you gotta bring the whole black community into it? Just like the people who think he's justified don't speak for the whole black community. You don't speak for the whole black community. The people who think he ain't justified, people speak for themselves. I've never understood I know it happens, but I've never understood why some black people have to go out of their way to show massa that I'm not like those other black people. I'm one of the good niggas. Why? And if it would have just been one post that said it, I'd have been like, it's just one person. And they, I look at their posts and I look back through their history and I'm like, okay, they kind of got a history of doing this. But you wouldn't believe how many posts have come up on my timeline saying that. Again, I've had some posts come up on my timeline. I'm a Facebook guy. I'm not an Instagram guy. I'm not all of that other stuff. I'm not all of that. I'm a Facebook guy. And I don't stay on Facebook, but every once in a while, typically this is how I access Facebook. I open up my thing and boom, go there, Facebook, and I scroll through for, maybe 5-10 minutes. When I don't necessarily need to tell y'all when. And then I see so many of these same things, and I'm like, why are all of these people following me? Why are these people following me? Why am I seeing all of this? So yeah, let me just tell y'all. You are not the best blackie if you say he was not justified. Whole lot of black people don't think he was justified. That don't make you a good darky. So you don't have to, it don't make you, you know what I'm saying? You're not big upping yourself by downing everybody else. Please stop doing that. Please stop doing that. I know the people who, and it's funny to me because these be the same people talking about, oh, we don't care what white people think about us and we don't care this, but y'all go out of y'all way to make sure that white man know that you ain't like them other darkies, them other blackies, them other niggers. You not them. You a good one. Oh, it just frustrates me so. You don't have to down the entire community. You don't have to paint them all with this broad brush to make you look better. Because it don't make you look better. It doesn't. Okay. I just had to get that off my chest because I keep seeing it. And I've decided I'm not necessarily going to reply to as many things, because people say stuff to me like, Emanuel, you only reply to my stuff negatively. You only say negative stuff about posts. You never come on my posts and say, oh, I agree, you're right. You always come on and you correcting a fact, or you're correcting some grammar, or, you're complaining about something that I said or something that I did or whatever. You don't come on here and just say, and I said, okay, I'm not gonna go on people's posts and correct them. I'm not. I'm going to try to not for a while. Real quick, let me explain. If you post, I like simple for my examples. 2 + 2 is 4. Why do I need to come on your post and say, ooh, you right? You posted a fact. You're right. Why do you need any, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, you're right. Ooh, you know 2 + 2 is 4. You probably got 100 people on there. Ooh, you right. Brother, you on point. Bro, sister, you know what you talking about. I don't need to add to that. Now, if you post 2 + 2 is 5, and I look and it's a whole lot of people like, ooh, you right. Girl, you telling them. Girl, you teaching. Now preach, brother, preach. Yeah, I got to come on and say, Y'all do know that factually that's incorrect. 2 plus 2 is not 5. It's actually 4. Now go ahead and continue the conversation with that new information. That's just the way I operate. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's something fun, I might jump in and make a joke with you and, we can laugh. But I'm usually, so yeah, most of my posts are going to seem negative. Like, that's so negative. Why you got to correct me? I don't look at correction as negative. I don't want to walk around thinking 2 plus 2 is 5 if it's actually 4. Again, that's just an example. So if you're giving your thoughts about, let's say, this situation that we're talking about now, and you have some misinformation in there that I know to be misinformation, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to tell you, no, that's not true. That's not me being negative. I'm actually trying to help you. All right, enough about that. Now let me think about this. How do I approach this? Do I go backwards or do I go forwards? I guess it makes sense to go forwards. Let me say this. I don't know any of these people involved. I'm not pretending like I know. I don't. But here's what I do know. I don't trust law enforcement to investigate themselves. Okay? So they said this doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It just means that's what they're claiming. All right? Now, they said that somehow they were aware of a stolen car. I don't know if they was in a stolen car or not. They said they was. I don't know. I could see law enforcement saying they were in a stolen car to justify the shooting that just happened. Okay? So I don't know if the car was stolen. There was a video, and it sure looked like he had a gun running from police. And I'll say this. See, I keep wanting to do all these little detours. But y'all get a peek into the way my brain functions, okay? Because I'm going to take all of the detours that my brain take. But we're going to stay on this same. Okay, so they said he was running with a gun, right? And I saw the video. It certainly looks like he was running with a gun. But now let me deal with this other nonsense that I keep hearing. Just comply. Just comply. I hate when people say that. I hate when people say that. I don't always agree with that. Just comply. They don't tell other people, just comply. They tell other people, you got rights. Exercise your rights. You got rights. Now, let me say, you probably shouldn't be running from police. Definitely not with a gun. But just comply covers so much stuff. I heard Cecil Thomas say it. I think I heard Lincoln say it. I think I heard the guy, the president of the NAACP, Whitehead. I think I heard him say it. I keep hearing just comply. Just comply. Here's what just comply means. But not even here's what just comply means. Let me ask you a question. You have rights, right? Let's just take a simple one that we all know. You have a right to remain silent. Now, let me ask you this. Because this is the way that it's, just comply and live. If you don't comply, then you know what I'm saying, you end up dying out there in the street. Just comply and then we deal with it in court. All right. Do I actually have a right if you tell me, if you exercise that right, I'm going to kill you? Do I actually have a right? No, for real. It's a legitimate question. If I have a right to speak and you tell me you got a right to speak, but if you speak, I'm going to kill you. Do I actually have a right to speak? You got a right to remain silent, but if you don't answer my question, I'm going to kill you. Do I actually have a right to remain silent? Now, look, I'm not here saying never follow a police officer's instructions. No, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, look, you out there in the streets, driving your car, doing whatever you're doing. You have to understand, if you feel like your life is in danger, you got to do what you got to do to stay alive. Okay? I understand that. I totally understand that. But just the blanket, just comply. Do you know how much ridiculous stuff police tell people to do? And if your response is, well, just comply, you black, just comply, and then deal with it in court. Whatever it is, just comply and then deal with it in court. No, man. If you got rights, it's okay to exercise your rights. Again, be wise. If your life is in danger, you got a choice to make. If the police tell me, if you don't show me your ID, I'm going to kill you, I'm probably showing him my ID. Because I want to die. You know what I'm saying? Okay. If the police tell me, get down on your knees and suck my, you might just have to kill me. I'm not complying. I'm not. Well, just do it and then we'll deal with it in court. No. And don't say, man, that's so ridiculous. There are cases of police actually doing that. So don't act like it's just wholly ridiculous. It's not. Well, man, but when they say just comply, they really just mean exactly what they said. Just comply. And I hate when people say that. You just do whatever the police say do, and then you make it to court. Complying don't always get you to court. Sometimes people complied and somebody had to come and identify the body. Be wise. That's my suggestion, my advice. Be wise. You have rights. Learn what your rights are and exercise them. Again, if your life is in danger, be wise. I don't want you dead. But you got decisions to make at that point. But the whole message of just comply is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now, that don't include running from police with a gun. Really, you should never be in that situation. But again, be wise. Police, you got a gun and police have a gun trained on you. It might be in your best interest to put that gun down quickly. Be wise. Be wise. I don't like the message of just comply. Those are two different messages. So he's running, apparently. Lemmy Johnson says, was the car reported stolen? I don't know. They're saying it is, but that don't necessarily mean it is. They might be telling the truth. They might not. Again, I'm just not one of these people who, well, the police said it, so I believe it. Because, which I'll get into later, police are just people. They're just people. Just like I might make up a story to justify something I did wrong, police might make up a story to justify something that they did wrong. Just like my story might be true. Like he told us this ridiculous story, and then you later find out, oh, he was telling the truth. The police, they might say something that sounded, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I was watching a video and I didn't see him point a gun at nobody. That don't necessarily mean that he didn't or that wasn't their perception. They're just people. They're just people. Police are just people. Some people, some of y'all, look at them and like they're better than people. The police said that this happened. So you just accept it as a fact. Why would they lie? Because they shot and killed somebody? They don't want to get in trouble? Again, that don't necessarily mean that they lied. They might be telling the truth. And I guess some of this is like everybody's jumping to all of these conclusions based on what somebody said. Anyway, let me try to go back through. So this dude's running with what looked like a gun, and police shot him. Now, somebody said he got shot in the back. The police said he got shot in the chest and it came out his back and through his bicep and it went in like to his side or his chest or whatever. I don't remember exactly the detail. I would say independent autopsy. Independent autopsy. Because again, all of these city, county, prosecutor, judges, they all work together. And I know a lot of times they want everything to work together, put it in a nice, neat little box, close it up. Here's your case, and you're good. Here's your defense, law enforcement official who did the shooting, you're good. Again, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he was shot in the front. I don't know if he was shot in the back. I know I don't believe the chief of police just because she said he was shot in the front. Just because she said he was shot in the front don't necessarily mean he was shot in the front. That's just what she said. Get an independent autopsy. Maybe the independent autopsy says she wasn't lying. He was shot in the front. Maybe the independent autopsy says, no, he was shot in the back. But again, people love to take people's word for it. The chief said he was shot in... Yeah, she gonna say that. The chief also said she was not aware that he had on 2 pairs of handcuffs. And for my dear friend who, for the life of him, can't figure out why he had on 2 sets of handcuffs, more than likely this is what happened. And I say this only because I've actually seen a video of this happen. When someone kills a police officer and they catch them, one of the things that they do, it's symbolic and punitive and even kind of childish. They make sure to put the dead officer's handcuffs on the person that they caught. It's symbolic. For real, I've seen it. I've seen a video. I don't remember where it was, but a man killed a police officer. The police caught him. They beat the crap out of him. They beat the crap out of him. Like they had to do surgery and remove his eye and all that kind of stuff. They beat the crap out of him. And then they took him to the station, knowing that he needed medical assistance. They didn't call for medical assistance, I think for like an hour. And they already had him cuffed. And once they got him to the station, they said, where is Sergeant, whatever the sergeant name, it was a female officer, where's Sergeant so-and-so's cuffs? They took the cuffs and they squeezed them as tight as they could on him. And then they stood there and watched him the whole hour. This is all on body cam too, by the way. They didn't get in any trouble. And then they stood there and as people walked by and the people were, coming and they're like, they really, a lot of them seemed disappointed that they didn't get in on the beat now. And are those Sergeant so-and-so's cuffs? Yeah, those are Sergeant so-and-so's cuffs. Good. So they made sure he had on 2 sets of handcuffs and Sergeant so-and-so's cuffs were really tight. And then about an hour later, they called and he got medical attention. That's when they had to remove his eye and all different kind of stuff. That's why he had on 2 sets of handcuffs. That's my opinion on it. And that's more than likely true. We want to make sure those are the cuffs of the officer that he killed. That's not that hard to understand. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. And this is all of the kind of stuff that we see and nobody says anything about. So you can say how wrong it is to run down a police officer, which I believe is wrong. I guess I should have said that in the beginning. I believe that's wrong. But you can't say the police shouldn't be out there punishing people. That's not their job. But anyway, so the young man apparently is running with a gun. Police say that they, felt like he pointed the gun at him, so they shot him. Killed him. And he goes, he dies. He dies. It's tragic. And for all of the people still running around, I thought that we had dealt with this years ago, but apparently not. There is gonna be, because I hear a lot of people saying, oh, everybody focusing on this police killing, but somebody was just shot and killed last night. What about the other 6 bodies that was dropped this month or this year or whatever? That's different. I know, that sounds horrible. How do you say that's different? It's a life. It's somebody dead. It's different. Here's how it's different. Here's one way that it's different. If Ray shoot Pookie and they catch Ray has to answer for that. There's going to be a trial. They're going to say Ray shot Pookie. Ray's going to be charged with something. Ray going to go to court. He might beat the case. He might not beat the case. It's not a quick, because trust me, they decided, this is my opinion. This part is my opinion. They decided within an hour of that young man being killed that the police officer was right. It was a good shoot. It's a clean shoot. They decided that within an hour. Ray don't get that. Ray don't get an hour later somebody saying, oh no, Ray was defending himself. Go home, Ray. It's all good. Matter of fact, we ain't even gonna release your name. Don't nobody even need to know that you was involved in this, Ray. Just go home after an hour's worth of investigation. That don't happen. So there's a difference. There's a difference. Ray get caught. Ray has to deal with the consequences of that. Again, whether he beat it, whether he don't beat it, whatever the case. Law enforcement officer kills you. They decide within an hour, and he may, more than likely won't, have to deal with the ramifications and the consequences of what he's done. Matter of fact, he gonna get time off with pay, which sound like a bonus to me. That's why it's we gotta make a big deal about it when there's a chance that law enforcement is violating people's rights and killing them. It's gotta be a big deal. Not that Ray killing Pookie is not a big deal. But again, if he's caught, he gonna have to deal with that. We gonna know his name. We gonna know how many crimes he's committed in the past. We gonna know everything that we can. Where was his mama? Where was his daddy? Did he go to school? Did he, what? We gonna know all of that. What do we know about the law enforcement officer who killed that young man? We don't. Because there's some, I can't remember what was it, Marcy's Law or something? They don't have to tell you. They don't have to tell you this is the officer. This is how many police involved shootings he's had. This is how many complaints that he's had. This is none of that. They don't have to share any of that with us, which is terrible. Terrible. So that's why there's a difference. That's why, in my opinion, that's why you get a greater reaction when the state, the people who we hire and trust and give the authority to kill people, when they do it, that's why you get a bigger reaction from the community. It makes sense to me, but maybe not to other people. Maybe not to other people, but it makes sense to me. So the young man dies. You know, they're preparing to hold a press conference. They bring in the family and they show the family the video because they say, you know, we don't want you, and this is totally understandable to me. We don't want the first time that you've ever seen this to be you was watching the news and they played a video of your loved one being killed. That makes sense to me. It makes sense. And so they bring the family in, allegedly, and they show them the video, and allegedly the father of the young man who was killed, he's really emotional, which again is reasonable to me. Like all of this stuff I'm saying, I'm telling y'all, a lot of this stuff is reasonable to me. On both sides. A lot of this stuff is reasonable. It's reasonable that that man was upset watching his son get killed. That's reasonable. It's reasonable that police bring people in to see those videos before they see them on TV. That's reasonable. They say he left really upset. Now, some people are saying they should have counseling there, and I think I agree. They should have counseling there. They should have counseling there. It would be good and wise. I mean, I would say you bring in counselors, you tell them, you know, counselors sit with them and, you know, maybe explain to them, this is what you're going to see. It's going to be this. Do you have any thoughts about it before we go see this? You know, and I'm not a counselor, so I don't know exactly how you would prepare somebody for something like that. And then have counselors there with them. People who are trained to watch people and, you know, see their emotional state and be there to counsel them through that. I imagine a lot of people are going to be like, I don't want to talk to you. But at least have it there, you know, an offer there. They say he left, and then he saw a police officer. The police officers say they have witnesses to say he intentionally drove his vehicle at that man, hitting him and killing him. And he was, you know, we all know he's arrested and facing everything. I can't make a defense for the young man, you know, if he was in a stolen car. I can't make a defense for that. I said if. I can't make a defense for that. I can't make a defense for that young man running with a gun from police. For real, I can't make a defense of that. Look, if he pointed a gun at a police officer, the police officer got a right to defend him or herself. So I can't say that that's bad. If that man was emotional watching the video of his child being killed, that's reasonable. If he drove to intentionally kill a law enforcement official, that's wrong. Period. Hard stop. Wrong. Now, I understand kind of the mindset behind it. Again, just because you understand something doesn't mean that you're saying it's right. And I'm saying this to say that law enforcement, man, y'all got to be careful out here. Look, there's been talk about an eye for an eye for decades. Since I've been in talk radio, since I started listening to talk radio, there's been talk of an eye for an eye. Period. And every time somebody has brought it to me in a conversation, my response has always been the same. That's not the way to handle that. That ain't gonna solve nothing. Yeah, on this show, what? I can't remember who it was. A brother called in like, nah, we marching and we voting and we this and we that. And nah, the way to solve it is blood for blood. And I'm like, that's not the way to solve it. That's not the way to solve it. That's the way to start a war. You kill one of mine, I kill one of yours, then you kill one of mine, then I kill one of yours, then you kill two of mine, then I kill two of yours. That's a way to start a war. And I don't think anybody wants that. But I understand the mindset of you killed one of mine. Now I need to kill one of yours so that y'all, as a family, as this law enforcement family, the way that y'all like to kind of present yourselves, so that y'all feel lost, like I feel lost. That's not the way to do it, though. It's not the way to do it. But it's been presented to me a number of times. I'm like, it's wrong. It's wrong. Don't do it. Yeah, because people don't react the same. People are not going to react the same. Plus, they're kind of a paramilitary and they're all over the place and they got numbers. In terms of, we don't have that kind of organization and I'm going to say togetherness. There was another word that I was looking for. But we don't have that kind of togetherness. We just don't. I think if we did, I would rather see that togetherness used for something else. I would rather see that togetherness used for something else. I would rather see that togetherness used for, hey, don't be in a stolen car. Unity. Thank you, Jerica. That's what I was looking for. Don't be running around in a stolen car with guns and then running from police with a gun. What can we do to stop that from happening? Which ultimately becomes the question. What can we do as a community to stop stuff like that from happening? Hold on, I know the easy answer. Believe it or not, this is the easy answer. It's the answer that all of the deep people fall back on because it make you sound deep, but it's really easy. Parenting. Well, okay, yeah. Ooh, that's deep. Ooh, so deep. But how? How do we get parents to parent right? See, I can say parenting all day. Parenting. Parent better. Parent right. Be there. How do we get parents to do that? Because when I hear that, when I hear parenting, it's the parents. We've got to do something about the parents. It's the parents. When I hear that, I hear a family. Another analogy. I hear a family saying, my car broke down. What can I do? I need new transportation. What do I do? And somebody say, get some money and buy a new car. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, then at some point you have to figure out, how do we get the money? Are you picking up a second job and you picking up a second job and, are we going to sell blood? I don't know what we going to do. How we going to get the money? The answer is get more money and buy a new car. The answer is parenting. Okay, the answer is parenting. Okay, parenting. How do we get people to be parents? Hold parents accountable. How? How do we get our society to hold parents accountable? Now that we figured out it's parenting, okay, let's move forward. It's parenting. How do we get the parents who aren't parenting to parent? Or how do we step in the gap for the parents who aren't parenting? Or how do we get our society to force parents to parent better? Parenting. Yeah, okay, you're right. It's parenting. It's parenting. Tanika, I'm kind of getting there. See, I don't necessarily think it's as parenting is important. I don't think it's as parenting as it seems. Because as Tanika says, and I'm paraphrasing, a parent can do everything right. And then you still end up in these situations. So it's not just parenting. How do we create a situation in our society where things like this is just unacceptable? When the people, not all the people, but when a lot of the people who know that this stuff is wrong, they still promote it. What do you mean they promote it? How are they promoting it, Emanuel? Look, if you believe this stuff is wrong, but you still supporting these terrible messages, you're still, and I keep going back to, there's a lot of unintentional consequences going on, and people don't understand it. He a hustler. Well, I don't mean it like a street hustler. I mean it like he go out and he work 3 jobs to make money. Maybe we shouldn't use that terminology, because that terminology already has a connotation to it. That being a hustler, the street kind, is good. Like, maybe we should watch what we say and what we promote, even the music that we listen to and the messages that it promotes. Maybe everybody can't hear a song talking about gunshots and violence, but that song is really speaking against gunshots and violence. What if I'm not that smart? I'm just listening to the music and I'm hearing bang, 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 shoot 'em up, shoot 'em up. And I'm thinking, yeah, shooting. Well, but the song is anti-shooting. But I didn't get that. All I got was this cool dude is talking about shooting. He talking about shooting down ignorance. And he talking about shooting down laziness. No, I heard this dude talking about I wake up every morning at 4 o'clock in the morning to get my hustle on with my guns. I didn't get the metaphor. So all I heard was a song promoting gun violence as a way to succeed. And maybe we should think about those type of things. Sure, it's unintended consequences, but you have to start thinking about unintended consequences, in my opinion. I'm not even really here to debate whether or not running down a police officer is wrong. If you ask me, it just is. Like, there's no debate there. It's wrong. It's also wrong, some of the things some police officers do. But I don't know. I just hear I hear so little um I don't hear enough love and respect coming from the black community to the black community, from older people to younger people. I don't hear a lot of solutions. I hear a lot of people saying that the stuff that young people say is just excuses, but I don't hear a lot of solutions and all of those type of things. I'm gonna open up the phones. I'm gonna open up the phones. I want to hear your thoughts. I got more stuff to talk about because I heard some other conversations that got me frustrated. I heard some other conversations that got me frustrated. These are my opinions. These are my thoughts and my opinions. Oh, I see I missed a couple calls. Yeah, the phone lines wasn't open. But the phone lines are open now. 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. I actually want to keep calls relatively short today. So if you call in, please have a point and be prepared to get to the point relatively quickly. 513-717-KING. 513-717-5464. There's so much that I didn't touch on because I know I said I was going to, but I so many different detours that I wanted to come up with. But I hear people say all of this stuff that's so, not that I don't have the answers. I want to be clear about that. I don't think I have the answers. But I think I hear people sending bad messages to my community. And don't get me wrong, I think they come from a good, you know what I'm saying? I got a good heart, and so I'm trying to give you the best advice that I can. And maybe you didn't think it through. Oh. Shelly?
Hey, what's up?
Shelly, how are you?
I'm actually bothered by this whole thing.
Oh.
I mean, I'm a sixth generation Cincinnatian, number one, okay? I've been on the county's ass for over 20 years, okay? This is a symptom of a way bigger problem. The county, a lot of people don't realize, they spend hundreds of millions of dollars paying nonprofits to come into our schools and target poor black at-risk youth for mental health and shit like that. They're overriding parents. They're costing us money. They're accomplishing nothing. Like Doane School, right? Nobody realizes they contracted with the county for youth employment and blah, 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 fucking blah, right? They had more therapists than teachers. The county promised to put all those students into new schools. They didn't, right? Like, they're not providing the services people think they're paying for. And that's a lot of the reason there's division, which I don't care about division. Nobody's going to tell me my culture, you know what I'm saying, or my history. Nobody's going to do that, black or white. But the rich people, right, mud taxes, they need to know. Nobody's getting these services or programs that y'all think you're paying for. It's getting siphoned.
Shelly?
It's getting laundered.
Shelly? So it sounds like you're saying things like this are happening because there aren't enough services to serve the community.
No. I'm saying because their services aren't being rendered, number one. They spend more money on mental health services than they do, sewage drains. It's driving people nuts, number one. Parents don't need social workers from Indiana to come in and tell them how to parent, okay?
Well,
Why don't we make...
hold on. I think it's clear, though, that there is a parenting issue. And so maybe someone does, but parenting classes, I believe, are necessary.
Only for poor black families because they're at risk?
No.
That's ridiculous.
What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Who said that?
That's what the county commissioners put all this money towards. The at-risk youth. That's minorities. That's black people. That's what they're spending. They doubled the levy to spend more money on preventative services.
Wait, Shelly. First, calm down a little bit. Like, we can have a conversation. It doesn't have to be adversarial. It feels like you're trying to be...
I'm just so mad.
But don't be mad at me, okay?
I'm not mad at you.
I think it is important to provide services to at-risk people. Don't you?
Really? Do the parents get to choose who these people are accessing the children?
Shelly, you're not answering my question. I asked a simple question. Do you believe it's important to provide services to at-risk people?
To provide them? No, I don't think the county commissioners should be providing these services through random nonprofits where every person that works at the nonprofit's making triple digits. No, I don't. Because parents have, if you're poor, you have Medicaid. Cincinnati Children's has the largest pediatric psych facility in the country.
Every poor person doesn't have Medicaid.
You can seek out help if you want it.
Yeah, but everybody doesn't know that the help is there. Believe it or not, I know everybody thinks that everybody knows of all of the services that exist, but there are, right now, in Hamilton County, there are some poor people who don't know how to access Medicaid or I don't think they call them food stamps anymore, but food stamps and other services. Everybody who's poor does not know how to access those things. And I disagree with you, Shelly. I think it is important that at-risk people receive services. So we disagree.
You're saying services like food stamps, that's separate than like mental health services.
Mental health services as well, parenting classes, all of that kind of stuff.
Okay, so what if it turns out that this child, right, who's dead, was in the youth services? What if he has a caseworker and a case plan, all of that? Then what? I mean, come on, and it's not.
I don't understand your question. What are you asking? He's dead. So then what? What? I don't understand what you're suggesting.
Okay, so all the students from Doane were on the radar, right? They were on the county's radar. They were on the city's radar. Obviously, the children were not placed in another school. Okay, so what were they getting? All these services that we're paying for? There's 127 nonprofits that come into Cincinnati Public Schools.
Wait,
127.
Shelly, I don't know if they're getting the services or not. But again, I'm just trying to understand the point that you're trying to make.
Because they're claiming that there's like 15,000 kids currently receiving services. I don't believe that they are. Okay. I don't believe it. Okay.
But I don't understand what different. If you don't believe that people should get services, then what difference does it make whether they're getting them or not?
Okay, well, if we're going to be if we're providing all these services, then it needs to be fair, right? Like Steve Riley's son should be in mental health services. You got to be nuts to beat up an elderly person.
Oh, that's not necessarily true. But again, here's my question.
Good point. Just because someone commits a crime or is poor doesn't mean they need mental health services. Do you want a county government therapist or your own?
Going once. Shelly, I'm asking you. You said you don't believe that people need services. But now you're complaining that they're not getting services that you don't even believe that they need or deserve or should have. I don't understand the point that you're trying to make.
You're misunderstanding me. I'm saying I don't think that there's this huge need that they're claiming there is. I think they create the need. I also think that they're claiming to be providing services and programs that they're not providing, right? Okay. Like they have a youth employment program. Okay, where are the youth? We deserve proof. I don't believe they're providing these services. Every single nonprofit that the county pays to provide mental health services to at-risk youth, all the workers make triple digits. They're all worth $15, $100 million
All right.
at our expense.
Well,
And what are they doing for us?
Well, I appreciate your call.
All right.
All right. Have a wonderful day. Okay. I'm sorry to be honest. I just did not understand the point that she was trying to make. And that may be my fault. I don't feel like it is, but it could be. So I try to be like, have a clear point that you can articulate so that I can understand it, or so that we can understand it. Because I was looking at the chat. I try to constantly look at the chat as well. And, maybe someone would say, Emanuel, you don't understand what she's saying. She's trying to say this. And I would be like, oh, okay. But if everybody's like, I don't know what she's talking about, then the call is not helpful. So, yeah. Try to if you decide to call, try to make the call helpful. But yeah, no. I don't have much else about that situation, cuz we don't have what I would perceive as factual information. Again, I looked at the video. I didn't see a gun pointed. And the chief, when the chief was in with Lincoln Ware, said she didn't see a gun pointed. But she talked to some officers and they said that a gun was pointed. And you couldn't really tell because officers were running and he was running and everything was shaky. So video evidence is not what we're going on. We're going on the word of law enforcement who was there. And knowing law enforcement, as we know law enforcement, do you really think, and I'm not stating this as a fact, I'm asking this as a question, do you think that if that cop who did the shooting, or those cops who did the shooting, shot him and he was unarmed? And when I say unarmed, she said, well, he dropped the gun, but then he picked it back up. And then they shot him, and then they found the gun not too far away from him. Which lends to me the possibility, I'm just saying the possibility, that he did drop the gun, and then they shot him, and the gun was where it laid. So we're not using video evidence. No, back to what I was saying. It's not, in my mind, out of the realm of possibility. Then maybe he dropped the gun, they shot him, and then they colluded and said, okay, we're going to say he pointed the gun at us. That's possible. It's possible that happened. Now, to be sure here, 3 police get together and say you pointed a gun at a police officer. In court, that's just going to be accepted as a fact. Minus some evidence, some clear video evidence that you did not point a gun. Just know, I saw a video of you with a gun, and I heard an officer say gun, and you got shot. I don't see a clear video of you not holding a gun. The police officer said you pointed one. In court, I think judges and possibly juries are just going to accept you pointed a gun. And try not to get yourself in that situation, young man, young woman. Try not to get yourself in that situation. Believe it or not, Jack says they never said he pointed a gun at them. They just said gun. That's not true. See, and this is where I'd be negative. The chief specifically said that he pointed a gun. So they did say that he pointed a gun. They did. Maybe you didn't hear it, but that was definitely what was said. Definitely what was said. And look, I don't want you to take just my word for it. Did anybody else hear them say he pointed the gun at officers? Did anybody else hear that? I'm not the only one. Because, sometimes I hear stuff just to double check me. Am I the only one who heard that? I didn't mean to put a thumb up. Tria says they absolutely said he pointed a gun. Vincent says yes. I'm checking me. I'm checking me. Samuel says no. Samuel never heard that he pointed a gun. Okay. Pat says yeah. Jacqueline says yes. The chief said, or the cop on the scene. The chief said that the cop on the scene said. Jacqueline says I heard it. Tria says that was the first story I heard. Daryl says he didn't point the gun. He fell when running from the car, and the possible gun he had hit the ground, and they heard it and said it was a gun, then started shooting. That is not what the chief said. That's not what the chief said. The chief said that her officer said that he pointed the gun. She was really clear. We don't have a clear picture of him pointing the gun. So I talked to my officers, and I think she said 3 of them said he pointed a gun. I'm not saying he pointed a gun. I'm saying that they said that he pointed a gun. I agree with, I didn't see a gun being pointed. Daryl says in the video he did not point the gun. I never saw him point the gun in the video. Jack said that they never said that he pointed a gun, and everybody else heard that he did. So I was just checking me because I thought I heard that he pointed a gun, although no one has any proof that he pointed the gun. Mary says the gun fell, meaning he didn't have the gun. See, that I don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. But again, if you're a police officer and you just shot somebody who didn't have a gun in their hand when you shot them, I don't think it's unreasonable to believe that a police officer might say, yeah, no, he had a gun, he pointed it at me. And then that word gets established by what, 2, 3, 4 police officers, and then it is so. And I know people got a little upset with me. I saw the comments as I was talking. When I said, I understand the father, Mr. Hinton Jr., I believe. I understand Mr. Hinton Jr. saying, you took one of mine, I'm going to take one of yours. I'm not saying that it's right. Which is a kind of a fine line to walk. I get that. You say, I understand this. It ain't right, but I understand it. That's walking a fine line. When I say that, all I'm saying is, I could understand. I realize that there are people who think like that, having gone through nothing. Again, I told you, I get those calls all the time. So I understand somebody that there are people who feel that way. Thus, it's not unreasonable that somebody who actually dealing with that might feel that way. So I'm not saying that it's okay. I'm not saying that it's okay. All right. So that's that. Again, if you want to call. Oh, I didn't put the number up. I thought I put the number up this whole time. 513-717-5464. That's the number to get on board. Let me talk about something else. Shahrazad Ali today. I had an opportunity to listen to Lincoln Ware kind of off and on. I think I heard the majority of Shahrazad Ali's time in, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna make it to the polls, Mary. Trust me, I'm gonna make it. I gotta get this out. First, let me be clear. I ain't got nothing against Shahrazad Ali. I think she's an entertaining guest. Or let me say, I think she's an effective guest for talk radio. She can be entertaining and controversial, and that's a great mixture for talk radio. But for real, I didn't hear a lot of love for black people. There said at the family press conference, did the family say that the teen was a student of Don High School? I heard somebody say that they said that, and that's like, what, third hand? I guess that would be second hand. I heard someone say that the family said that. I didn't watch the press conference, so I can't say with any degree of certainty that they actually said it. Now, I believe the person that I heard say that they said it, but I can't, stake my reputation on it. So, but someone did say that. I didn't hear a lot of love from Shahrazad Ali today to the black community. But even more than that, Shahrazad Ali frustrated me. Her position on Trump is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. She's not the only one who has that position. Like, here's what I heard. And this is my interpretation. These aren't her exact words. What I heard is, I think Trump is a bad guy. I think Trump is going to be bad for black people. I don't think Trump like us. I don't think Trump respect us. And of course, I don't think he's going to do anything for us. So we need him in office. Because somehow, the best thing for us is the worst thing for us. We need somebody that hate us. We need somebody that's going to do us bad. We need someone that's, going to put us in the worst position that we could possibly be in. That's who we need. I don't understand that. Now, okay, kind of the continuation of that is because that'll force us to be, to rely on ourselves. Will, that wasn't a call. That was me getting a text message. I apologize for that. That'll rely us. That'll force us to rely on ourselves. And I'm like, that's the most ridiculous stuff ever. Well, if that's the case, hey, let's find every Klan member that we can and put them in Congress. Or, state reps. Heck, let's find, 9 Klan members and put them all on city council. School board. Find the most racist people that we can find who hate us, who want to see us, harm come to us, and let's elect them. And that doesn't make sense. Like I said in the chat, I think what happened is she's come to the conclusion, I made a choice for whatever reason. I honestly think some of these people just like to be smarter than the rest of the room. They don't really believe Trump is going to be, and even she said it. They didn't, even when everybody was running, like, I don't think Trump is going to be good. But, you know, in order to be different from the rest of us, in order to seem like, it kind of go back to that thing I was talking about at the beginning. Like the black community is this, but I'm different. I'm smarter than them. So, a classy one says, I'm trying to call in, but no luck. You are not trying to call in. A classy one. There's no one on the line. The line is clearly open. See, I don't like when y'all do that. There is no one on the line. The line is clearly open, and we all hear the ring when someone calls in. So don't be on here talking about, I'm trying to call in, when you're not trying to call in. You're not trying to call in. Don't try to make it like, oh, the lines are so jammed, I can't get through. There's no one on the line. No, I'm calling, but he see my call coming in and he's too scared to talk to me. I ain't scared to talk to you. You're not calling. Don't try to fool people. But back to what I was saying. I don't like when people try to play them games. I'm trying to call in, but I can't get through. Stop it. But yeah, I think they wanted to show that they were smarter and better and more open-minded and free-thinking. And they made a decision, and now they got to stick with it. They either got two choices. Really, they got three. But they're not going to choose choice number 3 usually. Okay, hold on. I might have to apologize to a classy one. If I have to apologize, I'll apologize. Oh, I just called and it's ringing. And don't say it's busy. None of that. It's just ringing. Hold on. Caller?
Caller?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
I'm the caller.
I'm the caller.
It's not busy. People said maybe your phone jacked up. That's why I got a phone right here. I just called. I just dialed it and it went right through. Maybe your phone messed up. But yeah, so they got a few choices. A lot of them are taking choice number 1, which is keep defending your decision. Caller? Hello? Hello? All right. They didn't say nothing. So choice number 1 is keep defending your decision. Choice number 2 is kind of run from your decision and, kind of like, well, I'm not really in that camp. I was just, I don't like none of them, and I'm not for none of them, even though I told you to vote for and I pushed, MAGA and all of that kind of stuff. I don't like neither one of them. So they both bad, and so I can't support neither one of them, and I did that. Or number 3, say, okay, I was wrong. They're not choosing number 3. They're not choosing number 3. I hear number 1 and number 2 being chosen. I hear number 1 and number 2 being chosen over and over and over. I think she's a number 1. That's what I got from her. Yeah, I don't love him, but he just like every other slave master. Yeah, we need some bad stuff to happen to us so that we can be self-sufficient. Just saying. Okay, y'all might have been smarter than me on that one. He is not a good president right now. That's the easy thing to do. And then caller?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi. I don't want to give my name away, but I just feel like the Black community is trying to present like a double standard in regards to this case. First of all, I want to send my condolences out to that cop that lost his life and his family, and I feel that in the Black community we are forgetting about that cop and focusing more on the criminal. It's sad what happened to his son, but 2 wrongs don't make it right.
Hold on. Wait. Now, when you say in the Black community, what do you mean?
We always bat up for the criminal, and they can never do wrong.
Wait. You batting up for the criminal?
What?
Are you batting up for the criminal?
No, I never did.
Okay. Are you a part of the Black community?
I mean, yeah,
all
but
right.
I've always been told that.
I
always
thought
been
you
discounted.
just said that the Black community is always batting up for the criminal. Wouldn't that mean you have a responsibility to bat up for the criminal?
Nope.
Then maybe the Black community don't always bat up for the criminal. Maybe there are some people in the Black community who feel a certain way, but you can't paint the whole Black community with that brush. It's irresponsible. That's it. I guess that was it. You don't come in here talking about the Black community always batting up for the criminal. You Black? You a part of the Black community? Are you batting up for the criminal? Please stop being so irresponsible. That was not Shelly. It was not Shelly. Anyway, how do you, my condolences to the cop. But the Black community, the Black community is just horrible. The Black community is bad. I haven't heard anyone say that the young man running with the gun was right. I personally haven't heard anyone say that the guy who ran over the cop did the right thing. I have heard a few people, like myself, say, I understand it, but it was wrong. I'm telling you, I genuinely have not heard anyone say that the guy was right and justified. I'm not saying that doesn't mean no one has said it. But none of the people that I deal with, I told you I see all that stuff on my timeline. I haven't seen anyone on my timeline say, yeah, go and kill cops or no nonsense like that. I haven't heard anybody say that. But we painting the Black community that way? That's the kind of stuff I was telling y'all about. that frustrates me. I don't, well, okay, hold on. It definitely didn't come up under Shelly's name. And, oh, I'm sorry. That was one. That wasn't thumbs up. It definitely didn't come under Shelly's name. And it didn't sound like Shelly to me. But if y'all say it was Shelly, then okay. Y'all can say it was Shelly. Vernon says there's a certain degree of hero worship going on regarding the father who ran over the deputy. Same as it was for the guy who shot the healthcare CEO. And would you say, Vernon, that the black community supports that guy? Mary says if the young man running from the cops was white, would it have ended in the young man being shot? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I can't really say. I also heard, back to Shahrazad Ali, but I heard people, specifically Marquetta and my friend Wyatt, saying, like, she came in and basically she was saying all this good stuff, and you know, then she said something and then everybody wanted to take that and run with it. Like if she say ain't no black people making no money, then black people want to look at that and say she's saying ain't no black people making no money. But that ain't what she really saying. She know black people make money. She ain't saying ain't no black people making no money. She only saying that if it apply to you. Then don't say it. It's not hard to not say nonsensical generalizations like that. I can just right up off the top of my head, instead of saying ain't no black people making no money, you can say there's not as many black people making money as should be. There's really only a small percentage of black people making money. There's a lot of black people who ain't making no money. How about just say what you mean? But it's so easy to just throw out negativity about black people. And then when black people call you on the negativity that you threw out on black people, then, well, you know I didn't mean everybody. Then stop saying it. Y'all don't think that this stuff matter, but there are other people listening. Well, we don't care what they think. I care what they think to this extent. They use you to validate that nonsense that they already have in their head. And so we should try our best. This is just my opinion. We should try our best to not just outwardly say the nonsense to validate for them. And again, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Black people don't provide no scholarships. Black people provide, black churches don't provide no scholarships. It's black churches providing scholarships all over the place. How many scholarships have you provided? Hold on, to be clear, that's not to say that she hasn't. But she said a few times today, these ain't her exact words, I'm not obligated to answer that question for you, which I agree with. So what make you think you're going to know everything that the black church is doing? You're not a part of the black church, so they're not obligated to tell you what they're doing. Well, she didn't mean all the black churches. Then why did she say the black church? Y'all, I know this stuff sounds crazy and I'm being petty and picky on all of this stuff, but it's not, sorry, Janice, it's not that hard to, especially if this is what you do for a living, it's not that hard to try to be specific when you're speaking. A classy one says, why'd you hang up on her? I didn't. She hung up. I was very much willing to talk to her. That little bitty part of the conversation, I thoroughly enjoyed. I enjoyed having an opportunity to express to someone who's painting the entire black community with this broad brush to stop doing that. I enjoyed that. So I would have loved for her to stay on and finish the call. And we're not painting everybody as Trumpsters. Usually the people who say they Trumpsters. Again, this is back to the conversation that I heard Wyatt and Marquetta. Oh, and you say this stuff, and just because you don't agree with them, they're going to paint you as a Trumpster. No. If you say and show I support Trump no matter what, I think it's fair to paint you as a Trumpster. I think that's fair. I listened to the stuff that she was saying, being Shahrazad Ali. I don't know that there's any way that you can listen to her views on Trump and say she's not a Trumpster. She said, I voted for the guy. I think he's what the black community need. I think he's what America needs right now. And I think he's doing a good job. How much more Trumpster can you get? If you don't want to be portrayed as a Trumpster, don't present yourself as a Trumpster. Don't seem that hard to me. And I get people who, don't like the Democratic Party. I'm not a member of the Democratic Party, so that don't hurt my feelings. That don't hurt my feelings at all. I'm okay with people, thinking differently, being an independent thinker. I'm okay with all of that. But I know it sounds crazy because I've said this a few times. It don't make you special. To talk about the Democratic plantation don't make you smarter or deeper or whatever. What they done for you? Okay. What have the Republicans done for you? Oh, no, you can't ask that question. Why not? Because the answer is going to be nothing. And like I was saying, the whole election cycle, it's weird to me to say you shouldn't vote for the Democratic Party because they ain't did nothing for black people. Okay. What has the Republican Party done for black people? Well, why you asking that question? That don't matter. The Democrats ain't did. Because they've done nothing. So, yes, it's weird to say, don't vote for Democrats because they've done nothing for you. Vote for Republicans because they haven't done anything for you. That's weird to me. It's weird to me. And again, I'll be honest, I agree with some things that the Republicans say they stand for, even though they don't really stand for them. And I don't agree with it for the reasons that they agree with it, which is a really, really strange thing. I don't agree with, all of the trans stuff. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with it because I hate trans people. That's my perception. That's why Republicans don't agree with it. Because they hate trans. They need something to hate. So we don't like them trans people. We hate them. I don't agree with it just because I think it's some kind of weird anti-science, anti-reason, anti-logic, anti-reality stuff. But if you ain't hurt nobody, you ain't hurt nobody. I don't care. You can say you a girl. I don't care. I don't care. I don't agree with you. You're not a girl if you're a boy. But you ain't hurting me, so go on and pretend to be a girl. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. No, I don't hate them. So I'm saying, like, there's some stuff I don't necessarily agree with them for the reason that they agree, but I agree. You know what I'm saying? I'm an anti-abortion, although I am also pro-choice. So, yes, I agree. Like, you shouldn't be having abortions. But who am I to tell you what to do? You got to take that up with, from my perspective, God. You take up the fact that you just killed a baby. You take that up with God in the end. I don't like it. I wish it didn't happen. But I'm not here to tell you what to do. To mandate what happens in your womb. That's not my role. So yeah, I agree with them, but I'm on a different page. I really wish there was a good space or a good Democrat out here kind of saying the same thing. Like, just because you're a Democrat, you don't have to love trans people. I mean, you love them, but you know what I'm saying. The Democrats can't just give up morality to the Republicans. Because theirs ain't real morality, it's hate-based. So yeah, she said some other stuff that was just out there for me, and I'm like, and people just you teaching, sister, and you. And I'm like, I don't understand. It's like people don't be listening sometimes. Like they just hear she's somebody, she's famous, and she's saying some stuff, so it must be good or right or no. It's okay to say that crazy talking people is talking crazy, even if they, present as really intelligent and helpful and all of that kind of stuff. It's okay to say, you know what, I respect you, because again, here's my position. I ain't got nothing against her. I've read some of her books. When she said the whole list, I was like, okay, I ain't never read that one. I ain't never heard of that one. But I've read some of her books. I've seen her on documentaries and all that kind of stuff. And some of the stuff she said, or not said today necessarily, but some of the stuff that she says or has said, I agree with that. Like that, there's some reason and some logic to that. Like, yes, I can go with that. But just because you've gone out and you've made a name for yourself and made a living doing this, don't mean I have to be, oh, I respect you and you got to respect her and this and this and that. No, you talking crazy. How about go back to talking, if your woman talk bad to you, slap her in the mouth. I don't agree with that, but go back to talking that. That other stuff you was talking, it's okay to say, yeah, no, she talking crazy. She talking crazy. And then Jerica on there, but you, all the stuff that she's done. Yes, Jerica, I'm calling you out. Jerica on there, like, all the stuff that she's done for the community. And I'm like, what? Like what? She wrote some books and words. What has she done? I guess she would probably say, I'm not obligated to answer that for you. Which is true. She's not. B-Rab.
E-Man, what's going on? How you doing, brother?
B-Rab, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Hey, what's going on to everybody in the chat room typing, saying goofy stuff? Now, E-Man.
Yes, sir.
How could you not tell that person was Shelly?
That did not sound like Shelly at all to me.
E-Man, I can't believe she fooled you like that. That's why she got flustered and hung up. She couldn't debate because she was like, damn, she started reading the chat, and everybody in the chat was like, man, that's Shelly. She got flustered and hung up, like, oh, shit. So, yeah, Shelly, don't try to call back in here. And her point, what she was saying, is what she wanted to say before you cut her off. But anyway, I called to let me get to my point real quick. E-Man, you still with me?
I'm with you.
Okay, yeah, my bad. That was Shelly. Shelly, don't do that goofy stuff no more. We all know that you can't fool. You can fool E-Man,
yeah,
but
she
you can't
fooled me.
Fool
if that's Shelly, you fooled me. But it didn't sound like Shelly to me.
No, it definitely was. Anyway, yeah, no, it's a shame. What's going on? It was bad what happened with the young brother running from the cops. Don't know young man deserve to die in that fashion while doing mischievous delinquent activities. That's what, you play cops and robbers as little kids or whatever. And his father, just taking it out on a random person, like, I think he was wrong for that. A lot of people would be like, oh yeah, it's eye for eye, this, that, and the other. I get that. But if you're going to be eye for eye, it's to some people, they looking at it like, oh, it don't matter. It's one of them. Like, yes, it does matter, because the person who his father ran over didn't have nothing to do with the situation. Minding his own business. Like, if you be more strategic about who you're going to target. Now, my point is, E-Man, is that under Trump's country, because this is Trump country right now, boy, it's going to be a lot of police officers, and again, it's not making it right, but if you're a young black man doing mischievous things, not being productive, hanging out in the streets, and just doing street activity, it's going to be a carte blanche for police officers who feel like they've been threatened, not even by a gun, to shoot you in Trump's country. Now, I'm not saying that's right, but I'm saying that's probably going to be the next thing we're going to see for the next 3 or 4 years, because they are going to get off. If a young man is in a store stealing some stuff, doing delinquent activities, it's shameful, but these cops are going to release their guns, and they bottom line is, man, they tired of the nigga goofy activities. What are your thoughts on that? What I'm saying?
Who's tired of the activity?
The police officers, like, for example, what they're doing downtown with the banks, right? They're doing that downtown at the banks is because delinquent activities. Now, I don't know where the delinquency is coming from, if it's coming from young black kids or if it's coming from young white kids. I don't know. But the delinquency coming from kids between the ages of 18 and 25, is going to, them penalties, no matter what you're doing, is going to get treated more harsh than cops is just chasing you, running after you. If they feel threatened, even if they see that you have a gun, you don't even have to pull it on them. If they see that you have a gun, from juvenile delinquencies, even from any, in particularly us, the police are going to pull.
Hold on, may I say something? And I understand you're not saying that it's right, but I don't like that sometimes some of us accept stuff like that as.
No, I'm not accepting it. I'm just saying that's what the narrative is. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm saying that's what it is. It don't make it right. Again, it don't make it right. That's wrong. That is wrong. It shouldn't be like that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. But I'm saying the way Trump is doing it, what he's trying to do in the country, and what he says to law enforcement, and how emboldened the law enforcement feels at this present time, I feel like, in my opinion, that's the agenda that they're going with, and that's the agenda that they're pushing. I'm not saying that it's right, man. Right. Don't get me wrong.
No, I got you. I even said that when I said I know that you weren't saying that it's right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was just my whole point of calling. Like, it's so, if we have nephews, little cousins, black, or little cousins that's between the ages of 18 and 25, between the ages of 13 and 18, please, let's just talk to them. Let them be conscious about who they hang with and what activities they are doing.
Well, I would say, B-Rap, you should do that not out of fear of what police are going to do to people, but just do that just because it's the right thing to do. And
in general.
People out doing criminal behavior, and as a lot of people like to call it, street behavior, should just not do that. But
the young man who got shot and killed, he did not deserve that over him doing delinquent activities and stealing a car. That was not right. Like, that's wrong. Like,
well, I don't. And again, if that's the reason that he was killed, then I would say yes, absolutely. Right. Now, if he actually did point a gun at law enforcement, which I didn't see, but if he did, then all I can say is he kind of brought that on himself. Would sound cold, but if I got a gun and you got a gun and you point your gun at me, if I got a chance, I'm shooting you before you shoot me. So, you just, whether that's, and I'm not a police officer, so I don't have the responsibility to, keep the community safe and all that kind of stuff. So if he pointed a gun at somebody, he brought that on himself. If he didn't.
Yeah, we don't know. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think he pointed the gun. And that was my whole point. In my opinion, I think that they saw the gun and they decided to use deadly force off seeing the gun. That was my whole point of calling. They're not tolerating criminal behavior and having a gun on you and running from law enforcement. They're not tolerating it. Again, people in the chat, it don't make it right. I don't agree with what the officer did.
We got you.
But I'm just saying, because some people, like, they I don't think people have cognizant distances. You know what I'm trying to say? They hear what they hear and they don't understand language. So I'm just trying to make it clear as possible.
Okay. All right.
But no, yeah. I'm sorry. That was to my point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no. So what I'm about to say, if you know that you have young people that's doing delinquent, or your little family members that does delinquent activities and they have a weapon on them in their person, do not tell them to run. and especially if they doing criminal, just say, put your hands up. Even if you got a gun on you, take that charge. Because I'm telling you, once you run and they see something on you, they pulling the trigger off top. Off top. That was my whole point of calling, man.
Thank you, B-Rap.
All right, thanks, E-Man. I appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, y'all be safe, you know what I'm saying? Walk out, you know what I mean? Get work out, get some sunshine, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you hug your family members. Tell everybody you love them. Go for a walk and all that good stuff. Thanks, E-Man, man. You have a great day. I appreciate it.
You do the same. Yeah, I understand what B-Rap is saying. I do agree people should tell people, just in general, don't be out there committing criminal behavior. Don't be out there creating victims, okay? I don't think that any of this stuff is, old Trump and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I do believe there is a Trump effect, but police were shooting unarmed black people before Trump got in office, before Trump ran. Walter says, white people point guns at cops all the time and don't get shot, which is very true. So understanding that there is a racial component to it, there's some truth to that. Now, again, some of it is racial, some of it is the cop. And I mean, it just, there's some bad cops out there. There are a lot of cops out there that don't know the law or, the reaches of what they're supposed to be able to do, the reach of their authority. But whether it's a racial component or not, if you point a gun at a police officer, there's a good chance you're going to get shot. That's just the truth. Now, with regard to, he was talking about down on the banks and they doing this thing for the young people and you can't get in. And apparently, it was some fights or something down there. Something going on down there. Look, okay, I get it. They gonna do what they gonna do. But they only gonna do what they gonna do when they want to do it. Again, a lot of times people love to paint young people, young black people in particular. People love to paint them in such a negative light. Somebody said something happened up at Kings Island. And I heard a lot of people talking about the young black kids up at Kings Island. But come on, look. White people fight at Kings Island. I saw white people fighting at the Kentucky Derby. I see white people fighting at football games all the time. So, well, no, it's different. Our young people be out there and they be fighting more than other people. No. I see white people fighting all the time at football games, at basketball games, baseball games. These organized events where people come in and they're supposed to behave themselves. Think they doing anything about that? Is anybody making a big deal about the fights that happened at the Kentucky Derby? After football games, do people make a big deal about all the fights that happened in the stands? Do people paint with all these white people who fighting? There are some black people fighting too. But all of these white people fighting at these games and at this and this and white people don't know how to act when it. Why can't white people get together and just have a good time? You don't hear that. But it was fights all over the place. Just all over the place. All over the place. I saw multiple fight videos at the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, white people with their pastel colors on and they hats and shit. And I ain't heard nobody talk about how white people don't know how to act. Grown white people don't know how to act. I ain't heard nobody say that. But some people love to paint black people with this brush. Yes, soccer games. That was Nikki. Yeah, soccer games. Y'all know when they were talking about and they fighting at the youth, they gambling at the youth. Again, I lived in Fairfield. I lived in Hamilton. We had games all over the place because my man Wyatt tried to dismiss my anecdote as inconsequential because I said Fairfield. We had games once we got out of the league where we played in the city of Cincinnati. We had games all over Butler and where's Mason? What county is that? But all out there. And fights happened every week. Sometimes brawls. You know what police did? You know what police did when those fights broke out? Try to restore order. Told everybody to sit down and act right. Nobody went to jail. Nobody went to jail. Nobody was arrested. I don't ever recall from any of them Little League games, and we did like kindergarten, well, the first year of kindergarten was when we were in the Cincinnati. The second year of kindergarten, they let them start early. The second year kindergarten through the 6th grade, I saw fights. I saw gambling. Yes, they bet on the kids. Yes, they had other side bets and stuff like that. All kind of stuff was going. It was the same because people are people. And nobody said white people don't know how to act. Man, let them get a beer in them. Some of them, of course. Let them get a beer in them. Let a call go wrong. Are you talking about people fighting refs? Saw that too. Nobody got arrested. In all of those, 7 years, nobody got arrested. Not one. And I saw fights almost, now I wouldn't say weekly, but almost on a weekly basis. Now, had that been black people, they don't know how to act. See, now they need to do this. And they need more police at the games. And they need more of this and more of that. Now, here's what I'll give you. I don't think any of those coaches got shot and killed at a practice. Okay, I'll give you that. That I'll give you. All right? The level of escalation might have been or might, seem a little higher, in certain communities. I'll give you that. But they didn't go to jail. They didn't get no record. They didn't get banned. I got booted and suspended from a game. I didn't have no fight. But I'm the only person that I know of that was a coach in that league that ever got kicked out of a game and suspended for a game. Just me. I'm the only one. And again, I saw people punch refs and didn't get kicked out the game. Y'all think I'm playing. Didn't get kicked out the game. Didn't get suspended. Just a couple dudes came over and grabbed him and, hey, get over here. Get over here. Teddy, sit down. Sorry, ref. Sorry, ref. I synced it with my own eyes. So yeah, I'm telling you for real, I've been tired of it. I'm just getting tired of black people being everybody's punching bag, including black people. We got issues. All communities have issues. All communities have issues. I know, parenting. I heard Lincoln scream, parenting. It's parenting. Okay, it's parenting. All right, that's so, y'all y'all thinking miles ahead of everybody. So y'all done figured out it's parenting. Now figure out, how do we fix the parenting? Hold them accountable. Of course, hold them accountable. Got you. Hold them accountable. I know I'm going back to it because it just is so frustrating. Hold them accountable. Okay, miles ahead of us. Now figure out, how do we get people to hold them accountable? I'm repeating myself now. That means it's time for me to go. Plus, I got to vote. I'm sorry, Jerica. I had to out you because you responded to the comment like, she's done so much. And I'm like, what has she done? And then you didn't respond. So, I had to get the last shot in. I love Jerica. But I'm petty. Hold on, can I say one more thing that's frustrating me? I told y'all today I'm just frustrated. I'm tired of people giving solutions like they simple. I know I already said this. I'm tired of people giving solutions like they simple and not giving instructions on the solutions. Yeah, I'm picking on Marquetta now. I heard her on Wyatt. Her call and Fame's call, but I can't remember what Fame said because he was much earlier in the show. But her call vexed me here and there. You can go get a so-and-so loan and, buy yourself an apartment and have your tenants pay for it. Okay. Have you done that? That's not to say if you didn't, don't tell us. But if you did, tell us how. If you didn't, tell us how. Because if it was as easy as that, again, go back to my, I need a new car. Well, what am I going to do? Just get some more money and buy a new car. Oh, okay, cool. I'll just get some more money and buy a new car. When you come on telling me, that you can go get a loan just based on your credit, no money from you, and you just have tenants and then they pay the mortgage and the rent and all that kind of stuff, but you don't have to have no money and blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. How? Oh, well, I ain't going to tell you how. If we could get, just all of these co-ops, like if you could get 15 of your rich friends together and just go in together and buy a neighborhood. And y'all could just buy up the neighborhood and then you own the neighborhood and then you can control your own neighborhood. Yeah, man, I don't know why I never thought about that. Let me see. Let me go get 15 of my rich friends and we just gonna buy a whole neighborhood. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that before. It could be because I don't have 15 friends rich enough to pull our money together and buy a whole effing neighborhood. Oh, but I said it, so I'm just throwing out solutions. I mean, to me, it's like the people if every black man and woman and child just chipped in a nickel, then at the end of the year, we'd have $1 trillion, and then we could buy our own city. Like, oh, yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about that. Hey, every black man, woman, and child, send me a nickel. I hear people say this stuff, and they be, sure, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. It's a great idea to get 15 of your rich friends. Myosha, I need you to get 14 of your rich friends and bring them to my house, and then let's create a co-op. I got 5 on it. No, not 5,000, not 500. I got $5. You know what I'm saying? You put in your million and your 14 rich friends put in their million plus. I got 5. And then we own the neighborhood. I don't know why I didn't think about it. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. It's something you ain't never done, but you presenting it to me like it's the solution. And you might have access to resources that I don't have access to. And you ain't never done it. What city you own? This, we got a little co-op together and we bought a city. What city? What city? Tell me. What city you and your 15 friends run everything? Don't give me an idea that might work for you, but that you won't do. As if it's the solution. It's frustrating. I feel like it's designed to make people feel helpless, in all honesty. Why would I do that? Why would I tell you, oh, I got the solution for all of Black America's problems? All we got to do is every Black person get your 15 richest friends. Y'all come together and buy a city. That's all it's going to take. That's all it's going to take. It's that simple. Just do it. If you ain't doing that, then you ain't trying to help the cause. What's the point of telling me that? Me and my 15 richest friends. I did have 2 rich friends. Now I just got one. One of them, I just got unblocked off of his show. And I don't want to ask him for no money. Because, he told me not to ever talk to him again in life. So I'm down to one rich friend that I can reach out to. And she try to pretend like she ain't rich. So I'm down to one rich friend. The rest of my friends, they like me. They working, you know what I'm saying? Trying to save a little money. So hopefully they have some time between when they finish working and when they die. So they have a little bit of money to fill in that gap and do some stuff. But yeah, it ain't looking great. They got car payments and mortgages and bills and everything. And we gonna pool our, if we pool my $270 in savings and we pool his $140 in savings, how many friends do I have to get together now to buy a whole city? On average, we got $2,000 in savings. Maybe some of them might have $5,000 in savings that we can just pull out to buy the city. How many of my friends do I need to gather together to do that? I don't have enough friends to do that. I don't have enough friends. And then you presenting it to me like this is the solution. So what are you saying? If I'm not gathering up my 29,000 friends, if I'm not gathering my 29,000 friends and we coming up with a co-op to buy a city, then I'm a slacker. I'm lazy. I'm not forward thinking. I'm not doing the best that I can for the community. I don't know. It just seemed like you paint me as a failure. I'm a failure now because I don't have 29,000 friends that can all chip in they $5,000 to do this. So I'm just not, and I know you told me all you got to do is, please stop doing that. Please stop doing that. If we don't come up with solutions, let's try to come up with practical solutions that people can actually do. A practical solution that you can do is if you have young people in your care, do everything that you can to keep them out of trouble. If you put them in activities or whatever, vet the activities, make them, try to make them safe and all that kind of stuff. Raise your children, help raise your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews to the best of your ability. If you got any extra time, reach out and try to help people, like in your neighborhood, if you can. Or, for some people, that extra time go to my nieces and my nephews, or, my great nieces and my great nephews, or whatever. A lot of times, that's where my free time, you ain't doing nothing to make a change. I am doing something to make a change. I'm raising my children to the best of my ability. What you mean I ain't doing nothing to make a change? My child, God willing, gonna be a productive member of society. I'm doing something to make a change. You ain't at every meeting and every this and every that and every lecture and this and that. I ain't got time for that. You know how much time it take to raise a kid? Especially if you're putting them in activities. I don't have a kid. I have a grandchild. Do y'all realize how much time I spent? Man, oh my God, it feel like every week. Oh, there's a recital. Oh, there's a dance. Oh, there's gymnast. Oh, she's got a lesson. Oh, she's got a this. Oh, she's got a that. Like, I'm not even raising her. She had a play. I'm not raising her, and I barely got time to do stuff. Well, if you ain't doing all of that, you fail in the community. No, I'm not. I'm not. You're not making me feel bad. Man, I failed the community when I didn't make my first $1 million by the time I was 20. Because if I was an independent multi-millionaire, then sure, I would have more time to do more stuff. But don't give me 200 air solutions suited to a multi-millionaire. And then act like if I don't do it, I'm failing. You're not messing with my self-esteem like that. CK?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Livingston?
I'm doing good.
Hey, man, I was great that you added the Constitution Amendment to the broadcast. I like that. That was pretty good, sir.
Okay.
And your show today, thank you for serving the public like this with this overtime, because I know you got to handle your own life.
Yeah, but, I got to go vote in a minute.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man, because I've been busy. My ceiling caved in on me, Livingston.
Your what?
The kitchen, my ceiling, my roof, bad roofing.
Ceiling.
So my
okay.
ceiling.
I don't know why I thought you were saying your ceiling caved in on you. All right.
It did. My ceiling, my kitchen, and the living room, I got 2 gaping holes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you in a house or an apartment?
This is an apartment, sir. 2-bedroom joint. And
what's the landlord doing?
Oh, he's a slumlord. I'm gonna keep that on, you know what I mean? But he's a slum. But I'm out of there. I'm out of there today. So I'm calling to thank everybody in the comment section for praying for me, because they do pray for me every day because they know about my lack of intelligence. You know what I mean? And they do pray for me, and I just want you to understand the value of prayer. Do you still value prayers, Mr. Livingston?
I do value prayer. Is your your aide, your worker, whatever.
You made this up again, sir. I said I don't have no effing aid, sir.
What is she?
Listen, sir, I told you those was employees.
Okay.
What they call it? Comrades. My comrade. What is them people that work with you? What they call?
Nobody calls them comrades. I don't know what they are. It sounds
no,
like
it's called
my
employee. No, what do they call the
it's
people
not
that work
employee.
with
You're not
you?
paying them people. It's not an employee.
No, the people that work with you alongside of you, sir.
Oh,
what are them people called?
Your colleague.
Colleagues. There it is. I was close.
Why are your colleagues at your house?
Ain't no colleagues at my fucking house, man.
Bro, you be on the phone, you be at home, and I be hearing what sound like a little Asian lady, like, you know, oh, you need me to take that thing, you know, and you be like, oh yeah, I get you good, I think so, you know, and I'll be like, you got a worker or something. That's not. You be at home, bro.
I can't stand you, man. Listen, sir. listen. I enjoy your platform. You do. I don't know what they call it. Break balls. I don't know what you do. Joning, capping, whatever you do, but it hurts my feelings. It don't. It make me laugh. But listen, sir. Have you been talking about the death of the cop and all that?
In a roundabout way, yes.
What was your feeling on that? Did you think it was justified or wrong?
I think it's wrong. I mean, I don't. Okay. To me, there's no conversation. It's clearly wrong.
Clearly wrong.
I understand how someone being overwhelmed might view that as a solution, but it's not.
Yes, and remember, this is why. Okay. If that happened to you, Mr. Livingston, me as a friend or whoever close to you, we have to make sure, okay, hold on, man, you don't need to drive, or I need to be with you to make sure you don't do anything. You see what I'm saying? I got to secure your manhood because I don't want you to go out there irrational because your son was murdered by a cop. So I got to be with you. Sometimes we can't do it, but you understand what I'm saying? It's like I know your son gone, but let me make sure Livingston cool. I think that. What you feel about that?
No, I agree with you. That would have been great. But again, some people are really good at I'm gonna say masking their feelings and definitely not sharing their intention, right? So if you in that position, CK, and you are, you know what I'm saying, your brain just went to, I'm gonna go harm a police officer, there's a really good chance that you, when I be like, CK, you all right? What's CK gonna say? I'm good.
I'm good. And then you're going to be like, no, CK stands for cop killer. You need to get your ass locked in the freezer. Right?
Well, no. But I'm going to take your word for it. If you say you good and you seem, you know, just distraught, like, no, I'm going home. I can't watch this. I'm leaving. I'm going home.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you saying, I see what you're saying. You're saying, I'm talking that stuff now, but I don't know. Even if I was there, he could have threw me off, and I would have let him go home.
Exactly.
Because
there's
his actionability.
No way to know. Or, you know, sometimes you think you know people, and especially, you know, like say say it's me. I don't have a criminal history whatsoever, right? None. Yep. And to the best of your knowledge, I'm fairly able to control /
What
moderate.
history? You don't have no history or what? What you say?
I don't have a criminal history. I don't have a history of violence. And something happens. And I'm really distraught. But to the best of your knowledge, I'm able to moderate my emotions. And so while I'm upset, and you're like, Emanuel, you upset. Emanuel, maybe I should go with you. And I'm like, I don't want to be around nobody. I just watched my child get killed. Leave me alone. I'm going to go drive. Right. What you gonna do? Put me in handcuffs and hold me there? No. He seems to be able to. I know he's upset, but he said he just need to go cool off and take a drive. He can moderate his emotions. Bro, go take a drive.
Hold on. This is the only thing I'm saying. You're right. At the moment, this is how I'm feeling, but I'm saying when you go to jail for murdering a cop, it's forever and a day. So you could not care the first few days, but then after 4 months, then after 4 years, then after 14 in there. Listen, Mr. Livingston, you're in there with killers, murderers, assassins. It's very dangerous. So I think he had to, okay, that's my only son. So it was nowhere to go after that.
Okay, hold on a
But
second.
you gotta-
Hold on, CK.
Uh-huh.
Nakia says the sheriff didn't have a record either. First, I don't know that to be true.
Okay.
But second, even if he didn't, what's the point that you were trying to make by saying that, Nakia? I don't understand the point that you were trying to make by saying that. So please clarify,
Right.
just for me, the point that you saying that meant. All right, go ahead, CK.
But
Finish up.
that's what I'm saying. Livingston, I already understand. It's son or their son, Livingston cannot handle the penitentiary. So yes, when he first goes in, he's not. But then after 4 months, after 4 years,
Right,
after
but
14
hold on, but what
years,
does that have to? What does any of that have to do with the fact that the point that we were discussing was you were saying somebody they shouldn't have let him leave and all that kind of stuff, and my point was
because that's the ultimate thing. You have to stop Okay, remember I called you 2 weeks ago when I told on your platform, I am serving the community because I stop homicides. So retaliation. So if it's a murder and then somebody get word back, oh, I know they killed so and so. That's Jake Reed. That's Jake Reed. So then I'll be like, nah, you got to make sure. You don't even know if you're not a police. You're not an investigator. So I'm the guy that's stopping the homicide. That's how you got to. So you have to have somebody in place to stop him.
I still don't know what that has to do with what we were talking about.
Listen, man. Your brain ain't working. If he's vengeance, listen clearly.
He's not going to tell you. There's a really good chance that he did not tell anybody, I'm about to go kill a cop.
Right.
Right. So how do you know that?
No, you're right. I agree. You're right, and I'll give you that. Okay, listen to me, sir. Listen to me. You're right. The cases that I did intervene is when they had the gun in hand, ready to bust heads wide open to the blood.
Okay, hold on a second. Nakia says sheriffs don't usually have a record. Oh, that's not necessarily true.
Mm-hmm.
They could have a record of, mistreating citizens, violating people's rights, anything. They can have a record. But I'm telling you, I don't know whether or not the man had a record. I don't know. So again, I'm just not jumping to a conclusion just because you say so. But even let's assume his record was flawless. His criminal record was flawless, and his record as a sheriff was flawless. What does that have to do with anything? Go ahead, CK.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you listen. You're right. I just want to know. I just want you to understand. I do understand the loss. Retaliation is the cause of most of the homicides. It's all about retaliation. This is new. This is new. Retaliation on law enforcement for murders is new. Would you agree, Livingston?
Hold on. I'm not understanding what you're saying. Are you saying it's new? N-E-W?
Have you ever seen
Wait. CK, I'm just trying to understand the word that you said. Are you saying it's new or are you saying it's due? D-U-E?
No, new, N-E-W.
Okay.
N-E-W. This is new. When somebody gets murdered like a Tim Thomas and then his father ran over a cop, this is new. No, most of the time you see the parents on the car, hey, we want justice. Now he added something new to the game. And it's not going to be, now they're going to try to shut it down. But this is now, okay, y'all going to kill us, we going to kill y'all.
Well,
That's the game.
CK, I'm going to answer this and then I got to go.
Yes, sir.
It's not new.
When have you seen retaliation? Give me an example, sir.
This is not the first time this has happened.
Got him. Name it.
You want me to answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I recall correctly, and I really only remember this because Chief Craig was somehow caught up in it. Remember that dude, was his name Dorner in California? Mm-hmm. And the police had done something to him when he was an officer. And so he decided to take revenge by killing. I think he killed an officer's daughter, and he had, or at least they told us that he had, that he posed a threat to certain officers. And I remember it because Chief Craig was running around with extra security because he thought that he might come after him because he had allegedly mistreated that man in the course of his duties. Of course, the point that I'm making is someone taking revenge against a police officer is not new.
And the point that I'm making is somebody taking revenge on a police officer for a murder of their family member is new. Got him. Now it's fine. I bet you ain't got shit on that.
You don't have them.
Yeah.
So
you got one on that? Name it. Reference.
CK. Are you telling me that you believe that this is the first time in history that a person has attempted to take revenge against law enforcement for killing a family member? That's what you honestly
Of course,
believe.
you haven't named it. The first retaliation you named was not a murder victim. So if it was a reference, you would have named it. Got him.
I'm asking you a simple question. Do you believe this is the first time in history that a person has taken revenge on law enforcement for killing one of their loved ones? Do you believe that?
I would say yes, because you never said a reference point. The reference you gave was not about that. Okay. So I just proved you wrong. You got to start admitting defeat.
I don't know.
You got to start admitting defeat because you like to act like you won when you lost, nigga.
CK.
You ain't saying nothing about. Okay, go ahead.
CK, I don't know that you understand what proof actually is.
Okay.
You made a point with nothing behind it. And I'll go look it up, and I can guarantee. Hold on, while I'm talking to you,
sir, you can read the comments and tell you who's winning the debate every time. Y'all scared to look at your own comment section. This is your platform. They got me. You be talking bullshit. I'll be talking real shit. You be talking. I'm telling you the real. You came with darn it. That nigga kids ain't get killed by no fucking cops. I'm giving you motherfucking proof, nigga. You want to try to prove, no, Jerry just stupid. Nope. Got him.
Hold on.
Got him.
Hold on.
Yeah, you got to look for it. Shit it's supposed to be there.
You have to look for it. That's.
What do I gotta look if I know it? My brain is a computer. Your brain is a computer. I won. You lost. Jesus, admit defeat.
But you don't know it.
Christ.
There is no defeat.
You act like you're superior intelligence to all the black men. You act like all the black men just be raping and taking vaginas, and then when I prove you wrong, you want to act like I'm crazy.
Wait, did you? Hold on. I was halfway listening, but I thought I heard the word vagina. Did you say vagina?
You act like Shannon Sharp, Bill Cosby, Kobe Bryant. They pussy takers. But then when your guy Vince McMahon takes some pussy, you don't even cover it. I win every time because you ain't even cared about no sexual assault. You only care when black people get accused.
I don't even know
get defeated every time.
How did vagina enter into the conversation? Okay, this is what I'm going to do, CK.
Yes, sir.
I'll have a case for you tomorrow.
I got you. Hey, God bless you, man. Much love to the family, man. I'm going to listen to you, brother. Thank you.
All right. I don't know how vagina entered the conversation. I genuinely have no idea how vagina entered the conversation. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go vote. For real, I was typing my little Google search and I heard the word vagina. I didn't even know the context. I still barely know the context. Somebody took something. Oh my goodness. I don't even really know what he said. But tomorrow, we'll know we won't really know, but we'll see whether or not I can find a case in history of someone kind of doing a revenge killing against a law enforcement official. I would bet one of Myosha's checks that she has, not my money. I would bet one of her checks that it has happened before in history. But I'll tell you guys tomorrow. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go vote. I'm sorry, Tanika, I missed all of the N words. I heard vagina. Did he just say vagina? I missed all of the N words. I was, cause y'all know when I'm typing, I have to really focus and think. But okay, I gotta get out of here. I want everybody to enjoy themselves, enjoy the rest of this evening. It's a nice day out. Y'all enjoy yourselves as you are out and about. As always, I say. And Nakia, you never did tell me what the point you was making by saying that. So I'll look for that tomorrow as well. What the cop having or not having a record had to do with what we were discussing. I would love to know, just in your mind. I'm not saying there's no right or wrong. I would just like to know the point that you were trying to make by saying that. Because people don't usually just blurt out stuff, which is what I honestly thought happened in that conversation. But people don't just usually blurt out stuff in a conversation that has nothing to do with the conversation. The Nuggets is better than the Warriors. No, the Warriors is better than the Nuggets. No, the Nuggets is better. No, the Warriors is better. Rusty water ain't good for your stool. What? What they got to do with anything? We talking about the Nuggets or the Warriors. What does rusty water have to do with anything? What's the point that you're trying to make by saying that? Especially in context of the conversation that we're having. So, yeah, it was just random, and I don't understand what the point is that you were making by saying it. So, and I would really like to know. So, I'll look for that tomorrow as well. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. And as always, be the reason that somebody smiles today. Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.